Hello fellow compounders, welcome back. Today we're going to create a financial plan for Charlie, a 30-year-old music teacher who has been speculating in Bitcoin in the past couple of years and has had a terrible experience. He now wants to get serious and develop his financial plan. His wish is to achieve financial freedom by age 50. This means not having to work for money anymore. He wants to retire with a passive annual income of $80,000 in today's dollars. To do this, he will need around $2 million in today's dollars. Is it possible for Charlie to accomplish this in 20 years? We'll find out in this video. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor and you are responsible for your own financial decisions. Charlie is 30 years old. He is a full-time music teacher at a high school in Austin, Texas. He also plays guitar in a rock band on weekends. He earns around $80,000 per year, which comes $55,000 from his teaching job and $25,000 from his rock band gigs. His annual expenses are $76,000, leaving $4,000 for savings and investing. He owes about $50,000 in student loans and $25,000 in a car loan. Given the current low interest rates, we won't worry much about paying off the loans. The regular payments of the loans are already reflected in his budget. Charlie was very excited when some of his friends told him that they had made a lot of money in Bitcoin. Charlie invested his savings in 2021 and bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin when it was trading at around $60,000. Today, April 5th, 2023, Bitcoin is trading at around $28,000 and his Bitcoin position is worth a little less than $5,000. He isn't a happy camper. In fact, after watching my videos, he understood that Bitcoin really wasn't an investment. It was a speculative bet that didn't work out. So let's review his budget. Let's focus on what he's currently saving and project what the status quo scenario looks like and when could he retire if he continues as is. Let's go to the Excel model. Here are the base case assumptions. He cashes out his Bitcoin for $5,000 and invests it. So he's starting his investment portfolio with $5,000. He invests 5% of his income per year, which is $4,000, and increases it by $1,000 per year. This increase comes from the 2% salary increase that he will be receiving. And the next assumption is that the portfolio return is on average 9%. And this is achieved by investing in low-cost index funds like VOO or VTI. The average inflation rate is 3%, and the portfolio withdrawal rate that we're using is 4%. He can retire as soon as the money that he can withdraw from his portfolio is greater than the $80,000, which is his target in today's dollars. Notice that we are adjusting that $80,000 for inflation as time goes by. So based on these scenarios, here are the results. We can see that he will be able to retire in 2066, right here. That's when his portfolio is worth around $6.4 million and he's getting $35,000 and change dollars from Social Security and $255,000 withdrawn from his portfolio, giving him around $291,000, which covers the $285,000 that he needs for retirement. That $285,000 is equivalent to the $80,000 in today's dollars. If Charlie continues the status quo, he will be able to retire at age 73. Now, using the same parameters as the status quo model, let's find out what he'll need to do to retire by age 50. How much does he need to be saving or investing annually? Let's go to the model. For Charlie to retire at age 50, he would need to have around $3.6 million in his investment portfolio to be able to withdraw around $144,000, which is the equivalent of $80,000 of purchasing power today. To do this, he will need to invest $64,000 the first year, which is 80% of his income, and increase that number by $1,000 per year. Do you think this is doable? Charlie didn't think so. I don't think so. I ran the same model for a range of possible contributions to find out the resulting retirement age. Here's a table with the results. We can see the amount that Charlie needs to invest the first year and increase by $1,000 every year for the age target he wants to retire at. Currently here we see his current status quo. Investing $4,000 the first year, he can retire at age 73. To reduce his retirement age by 10 years to age 63, he would need to increase his savings from $4,000 to $20,000 per year. If he increased his savings to $32,000, he would be able to get to retire 15 years earlier by age 58. And if he would save a $64,000 per year, he would retire 23 years earlier at age 50, which is what we calculated originally. After evaluating the options, Charlie said that he still wants to retire in his 50s, but will be okay with it being his late 50s. So he adjusts his target to retire at age 58. To do this, he would need to start contributing $32,000 per year and increasing it by $1,000 from now until retirement. You're probably wondering, how is Charlie going to come up with an extra $28,000 per year? Here's what he's going to do. He's going to find the $28,000 by increasing earnings and reducing expenses. Let's start by increasing earnings. 1. He believes that he could bring in an additional $5,000 per year by having his band add a few gigs playing at weddings. This is a venue they haven't been promoting yet. 2. He can bring in an extra $5,000 by driving Uber or Lyft for an hour or two on his way back from work. 3. He can pick up another $5,000 or $5,500 to $8,000 by teaching summer school. 4. He can pick up around $9,600 by house sharing. Instead of renting, he can buy a house or apartment and rent out part of it. And 5, he can easily get an extra $500 by putting all his expenses on a cashback credit card. Next is reducing expenses. He can do this by 1. Reducing his meal expenses from $21,600 per year to $15,600 per year. He can accomplish this by doing several things. A, he can cut back on his Starbucks consumption by 50%, going from $500 per month to $250. He was going to Starbucks twice a day. And B, he can eat out only on weekends. And C, take lunch to work. 2, reduce his housing costs by buying a house, and which we've already mentioned in the income side, but getting a housemate to reduce his monthly expenses. Say you can cut everything total by around $7,200 and he would own the house. It's reflected in the $9,600 increase revenue minus the $2,400 increase in the expense. 3, he can contribute to an IRA, reducing his taxable income, therefore reducing his taxes. 4, he can reduce his entertainment budget by $50 per month. And 5, reduce his travel expenses by $1,200 per year. Let's look at Excel to see how his new budget would look. He increased his income by $25,600, going from $80,000 to $105,600. There you go, the rock band, increased gigs, the ride sharing, summer classes, house sharing, and the credit card cashback. And he reduced his expenses by $2,730. So it went down from $76,000 to $73,270. Therefore, he's able to save or invest $32,000 in change, accomplishing his goal to start investing $32,000 a year and get to retire by age 58. Here's how the plan looks like now. He starts with an investment of $5,000, which is what he got from his Bitcoin, and he invests $32,000 per year and continues increasing it by $1,000 each year until retirement. And retirement is in 2051. At this point, he has $4.6 million in his portfolio and can withdraw $184,000 per year, which covers the $183,000 he needed for retirement. That $183,000 is the $80,000 in today's dollars adjusted for inflation. So, under his current plan, the one that he decided to use, Charlie can retire at age 58 and live happily ever after. One last thing. What are the key takeaways from this exercise? Number 1, have a plan. In Charlie's case, he assumed that he was going to retire early based on his friend's investments in Bitcoin. He needed to run the numbers to understand what he needed to do to achieve his goals. Number 2, be able to make adjustments. Charlie decided that what he needed to do to retire at 50 was unrealistic for him. He adjusted his plans to retire at age 58 instead. And number 3, have grit. Stick to the plan. To succeed, Charlie needs to commit and execute his plan. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.